Hello, so today we're going to talk about finding our vertex of a quadratic by hand. We have learned from last week that we can identify where the vertex is on the graph. So just as a reminder, if I gave you this graph like right here, our vertex is the point at which the graph starts to change. So in this case, it's that point right there. If it was a graph that was opening down, then we would have a vertex right here. Remember, vertices are ordered pairs, and all ordered pairs are x and then y. So you're moving in the left and right direction, and then your y moves in the up and down direction. But sometimes we don't have a graph, so then we need to find it another way. So we need to do it by hand, and there is an equation to do so. So here's our equation. This is going to be an equation you're going to have to memorize. So our axis of symmetry, if you guys recall, is that dotted line that's cutting the graph in half. And that is found by doing negative b over 2a. Now this is when we're talking about that standard form of a quadratic, which is ax squared plus bx plus c. So when I say negative b over 2a, I'm talking about using the a and the b of that quadratic. And then once you find your x, you can plug that value into your equation and solve it for y. And then all you need to do is write it as an ordered pair and make sure you write your x and then your y. So let's look at a problem. So first thing I do is I identify my a, my b, and my c. It's asking us to find our axis of symmetry and then find the vertex. Our a in this case is 1. Our b is negative 4. And our c is 3. Now, to find the vertex, we actually don't need to know our c, but our first step is to do our AOS, which is negative b over 2a. I would suggest you write the formula until you get used to what it is, and now we just got to plug in our b and our a. So I have negative, and then our b is a negative 4, so make sure we have our two negatives there, over 2 times our a is 1. Well, we all know two negatives make a positive 4 on the top, and 2 times 1 is 2, so 4 divided by 2 means x equals 2. This right here is our AOS, and that was what it asked us to find first, was the axis of symmetry. So we've done the first thing, and then it says to find the vertex. Well, once we know our axis of symmetry, we can take that x value, and because we found x, we can plug it in for the x's of the formula. So I know f of x, which is 2, is going to be 2 squared minus 4 times 2 plus 3. And you can actually, if you have a calculator, you can type this whole thing in your calculator if you want to, or you can calculate it by hand. So 2 squared is 4, minus 4 times 2 is 8 plus 3. And 4 minus 8 is negative 4, and negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. So that means your y is negative 1. So my vertex is going to be at the point 2, negative 1. And there is your vertex. Let's try another one. Again, it says find the axis of symmetry and then find the vertex. So first thing, let's identify our a, b, and our c. So a is 2, b is negative 4, and c is 5. Our axis of symmetry equation is negative b over 2a. So let's plug in our points. We have negative, our b is a negative 4, over 2 times our a is 2. So two negatives make a positive 4 on top, and 2 times 2 is 4, so 4 divided by 4 means x equals 1, and that is your axis of symmetry, our AOS. And then we got to take our AOS that we just found and plug it in. So you're taking 2 times 1 squared minus 4 times 1 plus 5. So remember, we're plugging it into our x's of our formula. So PEMDAS says to do the exponents first, so 1 squared is 1, and 2 times 1 is 2. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 5, so that's 2 minus 4 is negative 2 plus 5 is 3, so our y value is 3. which means our vertex is at the ordered pair 1, 3. Okay, let's try one more. So here it says find the vertex. So it's not asking us to find the axis of symmetry, it's just saying straight find the vertex. However, in order to do that, we must find the axis of symmetry first. So in this case, our A is -2 and our B is a -4. So x equals negative b over 2a, that's the first step. So negative, our b is a -4, and our a is a -2. Two negatives on the top give me a +4, and 2 times -2 gives me a -4. And when I divide that, I get x equals -1. So there's our x, and now all we need to do is plug it in for x in our equation. So we have y is -2 times -1 squared minus 4 times -1. Well, -1 squared is a +1, and 1 times -2 is a -2. And then we have a -4 and a -1, so that gives me +4, which means y is 2. So our vertex is going to be at the point -1, 2. And that is